Of Pietermaritzburg's been pulled apart by the pillaging. Sipamandla Goge is tracking all of that for us. He's currently at the Value Logistics warehouse. Sipamandla, give us the latest.
Well, I can tell you that it's devastating to see here the impact and the aftermath of this rampant looting that has been happening in KwaZulu-Natal for a couple of days now. I can tell you that what we are about to see here is really not good. Bongamkize will show you. We are inside one of the biggest warehouses and distribution centers in KwaZulu-Natal. This is Value Logistics. It's located in Katorich between eNCA and Durban, which is the economic hub of the province. What you see here, this distribution center supplies food outlets, it supplies electrical shops, it supplies almost everyone, not only in KwaZulu-Natal, but in South Africa as a whole. It's been cleaned, if we can use that term, which is not accurate, but look at it. There's nothing left here apart from very few tires that are left. Electrical appliances and all other products have been wiped out, and it will take months to rebuild here. And I can tell you that more than 400 jobs are at risk because this Value Logistics warehouse employs about more than 400 people. But I've got Gerald Williams here, who is the manager of Value Logistics in KwaZulu-Natal. He will talk to us about this. Gerald, thank you very much for your time. How do you even start rebuilding this? Let's talk about the extent of the damage here. Have you quantified the losses?
Sampele, no, we've not quantified the losses yet. It's too soon. We only managed to secure our depot today, early this morning, and so we will still have to do all our assessments and everything. But I can assure you, I've seen there's a lot of damage here, aside from vehicles that's been burned, property that's been vandalized. It's really bad. It's going to cost us a lot of money, and also we obviously got a huge concern with the losses of our customers. And for me, the biggest concern that I had, or the biggest worry I had, is that we're vital to the supply chain of the country and also of KwaZulu-Natal. And without Value Logistics here in Cato Ridge, KwaZulu-Natal will go to their knees because there won't be any supply of food products or anything to the community at large. So it's really a devastating experience for me. And to see this, it's hard to actually comprehend how bad this can be.
Jobs will be lost here because you employ hundreds of people, and I can tell you that they will be out of jobs.
There's every chance of that may happen. Value has got a culture to try and safeguard jobs as much as we can, but sometimes, unfortunately, in circumstances like this, it may happen that we have to look at possibly job losses, but we don't know. That's not something that only time can tell us.
In terms of the products that were looted here, I see electrical appliances were the most target, but what do you store here? What products were inside here?
Okay, we have various products, and there are some products that's very attractive to the public at large, especially electrical appliances. We also store a lot of tires, and then also personal hygiene product. Those are the three main ones that we store here, and obviously that's what people go for when they came in here. And you could see it was evidence as they got into the warehouse, when they came out, those were the products that came out rushing first.
I covered the looting of this warehouse across the freeway here. It took hours, in fact days, for people to loot this. There were thousands of people that were looting here. In terms of security, are you worried about the way the police responded? Because the looting of this warehouse took hours, even some people are saying 2 days.
It took a number of days. It was, to be quite accurate, I think it was over a period of about 3 days. I was a little bit... I'm going to use the word disappointed. The police didn't react as quickly and as thoroughly as I thought they would have, but I also was led to believe that they were spread all over the KwaZulu-Natal area to try and protect other premises as well. So you have to keep that in mind.
So what now? Where to from here? How long will it take for you to be up and running again?
This will, I would guess it'll take us a number of weeks. It's not something that's just going to happen overnight. You've walked around with me. You've seen the damage that's caused here, and it's going to take a very long time to try and get this all back into order.
Gerald, thank you very much for your time. We wish you good luck in rebuilding this business.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
That is Gerald Williams. He is the manager here in KwaZulu-Natal, responsible for Value Logistics. Perhaps if we still have time, I'll ask Bongamkize again just to show you for one more time the extent of the damage here. It's it's really shocking. This is not the only business that has been looted in KwaZulu-Natal, but this is one of the major warehouses and distribution centers, not only in KwaZulu-Natal, but in South Africa as a whole.
Sipamandla, Annika and I had our jaws almost on the floor as you panned the first time. Those are really, really shocking visuals, and even more shocking that you're saying that it took almost 3 days for people to clear out that warehouse, and yet there was no police presence. And we understand they were spread quite thin, but you'd have thought that this was a very, very important property to protect. Sipamandla, thank you so much for your time. We're going to cross to a different part of KZN now.
Well, it's becoming increasingly difficult for people in KwaZulu-Natal to get fuel. ETV News and Sport reporter Nabila Sheikh is trying to fill up her car in the Durban CBD. Nabila, what's going on there? I believe that it's very difficult getting in and out, and you're not allowed to put petrol in a canister anymore.
That's right, Annika. It's been a disaster. I never thought we'd see a day like this in the city. Everyone's scrambling to get fuel. We've been to several garages unable to get fuel because of the long queues to get in, and some garages have actually run out of fuel. If you have a look, these are actually the queues. There are some people who have been queuing here since 5 o'clock just to get into a garage in the CBD. It's chaotic. Even the owner of this garage tells us that thankfully he just got a truck that came in, so he's got enough fuel supply for now. But most of the other garages that we have been visiting says that they're depleted and they do not know when they would actually be getting fuel, and if it would be anytime soon. I'm just going to take you to one motorist. His name is Knowledge. Knowledge, how long have you been waiting to get fuel, and have you eventually been helped?
Good morning. I think it's more than 3 hours, because I was here from 5 to 7. From 5 to 7 until now. I only get petrol that was 25 to 11.
Wow, so that's actually what the situation is on the ground. People have been queuing for hours to try and get into the garages. There are just a limited number of garages that are currently open in and around the city. Most of them are depleted as well in terms of the petrol that they have available.
Nabila, is this confined to the CBD? What about Belito, Mhlanga, further around the coast?
Well, it's not specific to the CBD. We're getting complaints across Durban. There's a problem that's in all areas across the city, and in some areas, because those communities have taken it upon themselves to lock down those areas and make it sort of no-go areas, just residents can enter. At least those communities are still able to get groceries, they're still able to get petrol, because they're actually asking people for their proof of residence to enter areas such as Mhlanga, Belito, Hillcrest. A lot of the areas that we've been traveling to, it's very difficult to get in if you're not a resident in that community. So they've been able to sustain the supply in terms of the groceries and the food. But around the CBD, it's very difficult. Most of the petrol stations do not have petrol.
Nabila, it's the one day that you can call in and say that you can't get to work because you don't have fuel. I know that you would never do that, but a serious situation there, people queuing for fuel. And